This is Nain, Labrador. It's a small community of approximately 1,300 people on the northeast coast. This is my second time here. I was here a week ago on my way up to the Torngat Mountains National Park. It's the last place you'll get a scheduled flight before you have to get a series of charter flights to get into base camp. I want you to stay with me on my journey because I want you to tell me in the end if it isn't true that the sweetest fruit is furthest on the vine. Sure, Labrador is considered remote and harsh, but I want you to tell me in the end if it actually isn't one of the more interesting places you can visit. No. When you come to the Torngat Mountains National Park, you have to go for an orientation.
It's the first one in Canada like it.
Polar bears embody the spirit of the Arctic.
If the alarm sounds and stays sounding, your job is to stay inside your tent. If you're not in a tent, if you're on your way to the washroom, stay in the washroom. Stay in one of these tents that's up.
For thousands of years, people have shared the northern landscape with this bear, often hunting the same animals for food.
If you're going out on land, if you want to go for a hike, contact Wayne. He will get you a polar bear monitor.
A relationship with the polar bear is one of appreciation and respect.
We have eating in shifts, especially since we have a lot of people coming in from out of the land, doing research and other types of field work.
The base camp is completely surrounded by an electric fence that warns of any early bear threat. The Torngat Mountains National Park is 12,000 square miles, beginning in Seglick Bay and continuing up to the tip of Labrador. LIDC, or the Labrador Inuit Development Corporation, is responsible for the accommodations and the management of the park. Apparently you can get varying degrees of luxury, but I'll just settle for my little tent since I'm camping in the park. What could be more traditional and fun in northern Labrador than kayaking? Let's give it a try.
You're pulling hard. Your muscles in here.
Are you going to try that now? Oh, here he goes. Oh, good job! And here I am at the top of the mountain, right next to Seglick, which is part of a big Seglick fjord. And it's absolutely incredibly beautiful here. The mountains upon mountains upon mountains upon mountains. The Torngats can rival the Rockies with its highest point at 1,600 meters. You can climb to see some nutshuts and great cairns, and another cairn, and yet another cairn, and great nutshuts, and a nutshut. Absolutely out of this world.
Now as well you may know it's got the grandest scenery, and surely I do love the Labrador. Always delighted.
I'm with Derek Whitaker, who's with Parks Canada, and you're an ecosystem scientist, and we're walking down this mountain, and he notices this lichen.
Well, this orange lichen, it forms below the nests of cliff nesting birds, so things like ravens, golden eagles, peregrine falcons, and it's created by the nutrients coming down from the nest.
Here on the Robert Bradford, and this is Chess Webb, and I've been just going up and down this coast for a couple of days, but how long have you been going up and down this coast, Chess?
Almost 38 years, about 40 years.
38, 40 years, and any particular interesting events that you remember, or?
Fog and rain.
Fog.
When I was 19, I started on long line, a big boat, I think.
Okay.
We always had a long. That is somatic or not.
I get the feeling it's a really unforgiving place. Like
Yeah.
if you're.
Oh yeah, if you make a mistake, you didn't come here. They're a long way from Halifax Coast down up here. Reduced there a bit.
And nothing like a little pit sick or dried fish when you're needing a little munch. Today I came into Hebron Harbor. It was a settlement in Labrador that was reclaimed in 1959, and people were moved to southern Labrador. It's an absolutely beautiful place, topped off today by an iceberg, and if you come around we can see the Moravian church. We were encouraged to explore the church. However, we were expected to leave everything as we found it. There are a series of these churches up and down the coast of Labrador. They were established in the late 1770s. Their mission was to encourage Christianity and promote trade, which helped develop these small communities. There were many old artifacts, as you can see. Found this in the Moravian church. I'm coming out of a traditional summer home for Jenny McCratsuk, who's the keeper of Hebron. Come on out, Jenny.
Flora was here that's taking care of Hebron. My husband, me, and my two boys. This is our 4th year here, using this tent, and we finally got a cabin. This is a bit too scary for us when the polar bear comes.
Yeah. Yes, okay. Eating through that canvas. I can see it now. There is no real forest in the park, except for wildflowers, which are everywhere, and they are a spectacular attraction in the Torngats. The great French actress and model Catherine Deneuve from one of her commercials. I like the simple things in life, like eating blueberries. Well, if you like blueberries or you like berries, this is the place. Crowberries, juniper berries, raspberries, bake apples, any berry you seem to have imagined. They're everywhere. I'm here with Neil Burgess, who's been working several years with the Department of the Environment coming up north. And I just want to ask you, Neil, like, what keeps bringing you back?
I'd say it's a combination of things, because I really enjoy working with the Inuit youth that we do the sea kayaking with. I got an email from one of the students after we did the course, and I almost cried when I was reading it, that this was one of the adults who took the course. When she was about 4 years old, she saw her uncle kayaking in a play. And when she was 4, she said, one day I want to get in a kayak. And 2 summers ago, we got her in a kayak for the first time. She's 50 years old, and she wrote in her email, "You've made one of my dreams come true by getting me in a kayak." So I mean, it's huge. It's so fulfilling to come up here and share with these guys how to sea kayak. But it's gone much beyond that now, because I mean, at first I was coming up just for the adventure and to see the see Labrador and that. But now I've made a lot of connections here, a lot of friends, and there's something really special about this place and the history that goes so far back. And everywhere you go on the land, there's reminders of people being here for thousands of years. Like we've got grave sites close by. You know, this mission has been here for 250 years.
So Neil, do you feel any particular threat being in bear country?
Well, I mean, it's exciting for me to be in a place where we can see polar bears almost every day. That's hugely exciting because I mean they're magnificent animals. At night, yeah, it's in the back of your mind. But if we had a bear come in here, I bet you none of us would be sleeping much after that the following night. Right?
And there's probably nothing greater than camping and cooking breakfast in the great outdoors. Small reminder for Labrador, don't forget your bug jacket.
Black flies, oh, me nerves the black flies, they'll have no more of me to eat tonight.
I have Noah Nukasuk, who has just kayaked in his homemade kayak from Nain up to Hebron.
It was interesting. I learned a lot on for 2 weeks.
So you're an old hand at living in bear country.
Not by myself, usually with people around me. So this was the first time. Well, I've done it on myself a few times, but not for so long. Not for so long. My father is from here. He was born on the other side of the church, and my grandfather, Hebron's a very special place to him. And I just wanted to prove to myself and people around me that, you know, this place matters to me too. I'm not a very brave person, but I didn't want to make excuses. Like, everybody got some kind of excuse for why they can't do something.
So any design hints that you might want to give our kayak friends?
Sure, go with the wider kayak. Go with not a 23-inch kayak, go with maybe a 26-inch kayak, like towards the double one. The length is good, 19 feet. It's very nice. I would say you might want to steam the cross beams maybe. Give it just a little bit of rise, because these ones are pretty straight. And maybe add another line here and around the mastic, and that's about it, I guess. The first kayak I made, I didn't know how to attach it together. The second one I made, it was tied together, not very well. I just keep trying at it, man. I saw a polar bear south side of Philippites, and when I saw it, that was my first time seeing a polar bear in kayak, and I paddled faster. Hopefully I can get a partner next year. I want to do Torngat Mountains, and I don't want to do it alone because there's 2-3 times as much bears up there as here. So another polar bear tried to come at my tent in the Patok Bay. I shot over its head and it ran away. And thankfully. And a bear can kill you one touch of its paw. It's so powerful. But I can kill a bear too with one shot from my gun. And polar bear that can eat you, but I can eat a polar bear. It goes both ways, eh? And it's been like that for hundreds and thousands of years even.
Other hobbies like crocheting, which Katie Winters is happily doing here now.
I learned from my mother, doing a miniature hat with somebody's name on it.
My name, I hope. And what would a trip up north be without catching a woman like Elizabeth Itchuyak cleaning a seal? Most Inuits still hunt seal, as food is expensive in community stores. That's for the bottoms, is it, Elizabeth?
Yes.
So, Heather, what do you make?
The park has some absolutely incredible fishing. Hey, good job.
Good stuff there. Your fish.
How much is it?
£6.
Stick your thumb in. It's out. You just hold it with your other hand.
Cool.
I got my eye on this.
Heather! In the eye!
Yum, 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 yum.
What a face! Swallow.
You can eat it now.
There.
The splash of the salmon, the finning of speckles, such sights you will see that will fill you with joy.
Oh, get in there. Good job, Miss Heather. And what would a feed of fish be without Veneziox? Am I getting close? I think it's a form of bannock. Fancy eating donuts.
We did see a polar bear on the next island. They're always on that island, but they're on this island a lot more. But I can guarantee you there's polar bears on this island right now.
And here we have an example of ramachurt, which comes from Rama Bay, which was used for the weapons, the harpoon heads and the knives.
And it became such a valuable stone that it's been traded as far south right now to Washington, D.C. It became so valuable because it held such a sharp edge for such a long time.
There had been a lot of graves, and unfortunately some of them were exhumed in the late 60s and early 70s for scientific purposes, and they were started to be put back in the mid-90s. And just a ceremony last week in 2011 when they finally put the last of the remains back in to this island, and just shows an increase in at least the sensitivity that the Inuit are finally getting some respect for their burial sites.
Neil, write if you find work, send money if it's a good one.
Leaving Sedlick, the base camp for the national park. It's the end of August and the end of a season, and most of the humans are leaving. I have a couple of minutes before my flight leaves, so I'm going to stop in and see the local carver, John Teriak.
I'm standing this serpentine polar bear, which is from the stone from Hopedale, with the diamond 220 quid sailing fan.
I have traveled over the mountains, viewed the Labrador Sea, traveled the old trap line my father left for me. Now the world, it is changing. You may ask, what will become of me? I was born a trapper's son, and so I shall always be.